Well, I'm here with Norman Gillespie, who's an old friend of mine from when he was the Chief Financial Officer of Cable and Wireless Optus. And then he went on to run the Opera House, and now he's the head of UNICEF in Australia. So Norman, tell us, what is UNICEF doing both here and globally?
UNICEF's in 192 countries. It's an amazing organisation that really stands up for the rights of children. It's constructed by the UN after the war in 1946, and now it's grown into this terrific organisation that really looks out in each country where there are abuses of the rights of children.
Well, one of the highest profile issues in that regard is the Coney 2012 video and the whole issue. Can you explain what that's all about and what your perspective on it is?
Well, Coney clearly is a notorious warlord who particularly brutal, and his methods over the last 26 years have been to recruit children as his foot soldiers. So he's well known. This social media phenomenon has absolutely brought the issue to the fore in a way that no one else has been able to do. I would say it's not really just about Coney. Arresting Coney might be symbolic, but that's the beginning of really eliminating child soldiers all throughout the African continent.
How big a phenomenon is it in Africa today?
We reckon in Africa and in Southeast Asia, places like Burma, there's probably about 250,000 child soldiers, both in government forces and in militia. It's a very big issue.
So there are government armies in Africa and Southeast Asia with child soldiers who are presumably child meaning under 16, is that right?
Under 18.
Under 18. Okay.
Most of them between the ages of 14 and 18. And these are governments who have signed on to the Convention on the Rights of the Child, which says they will not exploit children.
What are some of those governments?
Well, one of them certainly is Burma, and there are certainly African nations as well in that, and Uganda is not clean in that regard.
Okay, so your feeling, I guess, is that the Coney 2012 video, which has been criticised for focusing so much attention on one case, nonetheless has a great deal of merit in that it is raising awareness of the whole issue of child soldiers generally.
I believe so, Malcolm. I think people are trying to belittle this, and they're calling these young people armchair activists or defrienders.
Yeah, I saw that on Q&A last night. I thought really that was pretty tough.
It's pretty tough because you've got to credit these young people with more than that. They're now asking lots of questions. We're getting inundated with requests from young people and teachers who are saying their students want to learn more about it. Where do they go? What can they do? Which has allowed us then to talk about all the demobilization, demilitarization type programs that are going on in these countries. So you can't knock it. It's got through where many worthy reports have not.
Okay, well, that's one big issue. What is another big issue with in your work, UNICEF's work with children around the world?
Huge big issue. We're down to 21,000 children a day die needlessly of curable causes. That used to be 55,000 20 years ago, so real progress is being made. And that's things like eliminating those diseases like polio. And it's amazing that just this week, the WHO have now declared India free of polio. Mm-hmm. That is a remarkable achievement. And that's by mobilising government, mobilising forces like the Rotary, UNICEF, and the Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation to actually pump in millions of dollars, in fact billions of dollars, to make sure every single child is immunised against polio. So those things are real social phenomena that are getting done around the world.
Now, you said to me earlier that UNICEF's global budget is $3.7 billion. I think you said 2/3 come from governments, none from the UN,
no.
1/3 from private donors. Australia contributes how much to UNICEF?
Well, the Australian government last year have given over $110 million through emergency aid as well as regular funding. And we in UNICEF in the private sector have topped that up with another $22 million. Okay. So it's quite a significant amount of money for Australia. However, I think that as part of a commitment to a 0.5 of GNI for overseas aid could see that number significantly rise.
Okay, well, Norman, good luck.
Thank you.
The bells are ringing. I must go and do my legislative duty. Good to see you.